Let's talk about a day trading stock indicator that will make you a better trader. And right off the go, I want you to know that I'm going to offer this up with proof. So yeah, I'm going to stay in front of the chalkboard here for a little bit to talk in theory, but for your peace of mind and knowing that your time's not going to be wasted, I'm also going to show you exactly what I talk about with a live trade so that you can see this topic play out in the actual world of trading. Now, I have done, and I've talked about this indicator before. In fact, I'll put an image up right now from a previous video that I've done, and I'll also link that down below if you want to watch that video. It's just kind of another little example of how this all works. But to quickly nutshell that video, the indicator is just an ETF. Well, Clay, no, indicators are only MACDs or RSIs. I know. Let's think a little bit outside of the box here, okay? But the indicator here is the SPY. And the SPY is just an ETF that basically summarizes the entire market, the S&P 500. And we want the SPY, and you want to use that on the 5-minute time frame. So 5-minute time frame, SPY. That is the indicator that's going to be very, very beneficial. And in that video, I use the analogy of, I want you to envision SPY as the wind, okay? So you have the wind, and obviously the wind blows, right? Now, the one difference here is that in the markets, usually like in our lives, winds blow side, back and forth. But in the market, the winds can blow either up or down, right? So you have both directions of the wind, but in the stock market, winds blow up or down. So if you are running into a wind, what does that do? That makes things a little bit more difficult. If the wind is at your back, what does that do? Well, that makes things a little bit easier. So that's the overall premise here is we're using, and I believe you should, as a day trader, be using the SPY 5-minute as just a way to gauge where the winds at in the market. Or more specifically, how are the winds affecting any sort of particular stock that you're looking at? And the example here that you're about to see, I am trading Tesla. And the question becomes, all right, well, how are the winds affecting Tesla? That's where my mind's at. So let's go to the first part of this trade and I'll get things set up and then I'll come back and we'll have a little bit more details for it. But yeah, this is the first minute of the day. Let me bring up my my marker here. But this is what it's known as a 1-minute candlestick, and that's showing us what's going on every minute. So right now this is the opening minute and it's doing the exact opposite of working its way up to 455. But that high of 448.75 looks interesting. 448.75 upside breakpoint for scalp. 1 minute. But I don't even think that's going to come into play right now. I suppose the price could snap back up there given it's Tesla, but we'll see what happens. Yes, you do hear typing, and again, that's just me making alerts in the community. SPY pulling back right now, and Tesla's holding up for pretty well. So if the SPY can recover, east sideways, if SPY bounces, those sideways stocks should move up. Nice. There we go. So what I'm watching right now is this SPY 5-minute. You can see right here, the SPY is going down. So my theory right now, and what I just told the chat room is I think if this starts to bottom out and behave like it wants to move back up, then Tesla should go very nicely. Because right now, markets are dropping and Tesla has just been going sideways. So now that we have more context, what was going on? Well, you saw me. I showed the indicator, right? I showed the SPY 5-minute chart, and you saw what was going on. There was just a big old price action moving downwards, right? So the wind was blowing down. The wind was just all that pressure, all that force out there was causing the market as a whole to go down, but not the entire market, right? Because what was Tesla doing at that very same time? Well, Tesla, while the market's again down, pressure, Tesla was going sideways. So, I mean, what does that actually say about Tesla? Would you say that makes Tesla strong or weak? Well, hopefully you're saying, well, that makes it actually relatively strong, right? I mean, everything is pressing down, yet Tesla is able to just fight enough to go sideways. Now, what would make Tesla extra crazy strong would be if Tesla was actually going up. So it wasn't quite at the crazy strong status, but it was actually very respectably strong. Or in other words, it was relatively strong compared to the overall market, compared to this indicator as, again, the overall market being the SPY 5-minute. So forces going down, yet Tesla was able to go sideways. So the question really becomes, well, you know what? What happens if? What happens if the markets just even stop? What happens if the wind just even stops blowing down? It doesn't even have to start to blow back upwards, but what happens if it just takes a pause? What do you think might be likely to happen to Tesla? Or no, ask yourself, answer that question. If all of a sudden the wind just pauses, or better yet, what happens if the wind actually reverses around? Then what? But let's just say, what happens if the wind just simply stops blowing downwards pressure? What do you think that could very well do to Tesla? Well, let's go to this next part and see how the rest of the trade played out. You got to give credit where credit's due. Tesla, with all things considered, has done a good job of holding strong. 445, I like. Going to watch that as a potential entry point. Yep, SPY starting to bounce. In at 445. Let's see if we can get more of a push to the upside here. Hmm, 445 being a little bit more stubborn than what I wanted to see it, but there we go. Getting some push up there through it. Can we get up through 446? Yes, we can. I'm taking the scalp. There we go. So nice $100. And you can see right here, the SPY did indeed start to bounce. So that lower shadow there, as they're called, started to bounce. And then Tesla, bounced a whole lot more than what even the SPY did. So right there, played out. And then just to show you kind of how that all worked, in the chat room right there, SPY 5-minute going down. Look for stocks going at least sideways, which is exactly what Tesla was doing. If SPY bounces, those sideways stocks should move up nice. And look at that with Tesla. Boom. There it goes. So right here, SPY bouncing up. Now, yes, in hindsight, I should have scaled out. Honestly, I don't know why I just did 100 shares. If you've watched any of my past live trade videos, you know that I would, normally just take out 50 shares so that I can hold on to 50. So that was a mistake on my part. I'm not going to try to play that off. I really have no idea other than that was just a mistake on my part to not scale out. Like I said, that comment means a little bit more to those of you that have watched past videos where I've, you see me trade Tesla, and I'll, like I said, not just get all out, but I'll scale out with 50 shares, for example. So yeah, really, I should still have 50 shares right now, and I should be up. I don't even want to do the math. Yeah, almost another $250 right now. So yeah, that total mistake on my part. And there it is. You got your answer. Pretty cool, huh? You heard me talk all the way through it. You know what? I think that if this just stops blowing down, I think if this indicator stops going down, even just for a little bit, Tesla's got a great chance of doing what? Well, going up. And that is exactly what happened. And I was able to put a quick $100 bill into my pocket in a very small amount of time. Now, granted, in hindsight, I could have done a whole lot more than that, but hey, that's hindsight trading. We're all trillionaires in our hindsight trading account. But the overall idea, the overall premise was all constructed by keeping your eye on that indicator up there. And by noticing, whoa, markets falling. Tesla just going sideways? Tesla, you little dirty dog. You got some strength in you today, don't you? And of course, as soon as the market, just even a little bit, it was just a very, very slight upwards move. Tesla then recovered nicely and made a very nice breakout to the upside. So that's how I believe that if you start using this indicator as a day trader, it can help you get better. It can help you create better results for yourself by paying attention and giving yourself those little edges where you understand bigger context. And there's no more better context to be understanding than what's just the general markets are doing, where the overall wind is blowing, which again is by using the SPY on the 5-minute time frame. So hope you found this video helpful. If you do enjoy videos like this, then a very time efficient, quick way to communicate that to me, hit that like button down below. Also questions, comments, suggestions, leave those down below. I always read and reply to them. If you've watched any of my past videos, you'll see I do reply. And then finally, check out the channel as a whole. I offer many videos. If you enjoyed the live trading snippets from this video, then there's an entire playlist of just live trading, so you can go through those and see more live trades if you enjoyed that part of the video. But overall, hopefully you like what you see enough to hit that red subscribe button. But yeah, get out there, and whether you're a beginner day trader or somebody with a lot of experience, put the SPY 5-minute somewhere up on your screen, start to monitor it, and that way you can gauge where the wind is blowing. First off, thanks so much for watching the entire video. Real quick, before you go, I want to invite you to a live webinar, web class, training, workshop, online event, whatever you want to call it, but it will be me live revealing to you what I've discovered that has allowed me to transform myself from being an employee to being my own boss, including how I had only one losing day out of 73 days in total. I'm going to cover 3 keys that have helped me unlock profitable consistency within the markets. The first key is super weird, but in a productive type of way. The second key is super awesome because it quite literally is wired into our DNA as humans, making it very easy to use. But in a cruel way, this becomes a pitfall for many traders. I'll explain it all though, including how to avoid the pitfall that it creates for some. And yeah, the third key, when you hear it, sounds way too good to be true, but it's not, and I'll show you how it all works. Then at the end, I open it up for a question and answer session that is, again, totally live. Even if you can't make the live session, please still sign up as it will be recorded, and you can go back and watch the replay that I will send you. Click the image on the screen or click the link down in the description box so you can get the date and time and claim your spot, which I should note is limited due to the fact that this truly is a live event. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll be seeing you soon.